Hello, friends. Welcome to Global English Tales. Today, I'm going to take you on a very special adventure, a story that is not just about travel and mystery, but also about learning English in the most natural and exciting way. This is the story of Ethan, a 30-year-old traveler who discovers that learning a language is like going on an adventure, full of challenges, surprises, and treasures. So, sit back, relax, and join me on this journey into the magical city of Lingua, where words are more than sounds. They are treasures waiting to be discovered. Far away, beyond high mountains, deep rivers, and endless forests, there was a hidden city called Lingua. Unlike any other place in the world, Lingua was built on the belief that every word carried magic. Words here were not just spoken, they glowed like jewels, and people collected them as treasures. Some words gave people the ability to connect, some gave them confidence, and some gave them the courage to explore the unknown. In this city lived Ethan, a man of 30 years, curious, thoughtful, and always searching for meaning. Ethan wanted to master English, but he did not want to learn it by memorizing grammar rules or long lists of vocabulary. He believed there had to be a way where learning felt alive. Deep inside, he felt that words were not just lessons, but keys to adventures, stories, and people. One morning, Ethan woke up to find a strange object on his doorstep. It was an old parchment, folded carefully and marked with a symbol of a golden feather. When he opened it, he found a map. The map showed the way to the Cave of Lost Words, a place most people only whispered about. The legend said that inside the cave lay forgotten words, words that could give anyone the confidence to speak any language with clarity. Ethan knew this was not an ordinary message. It was a call to adventure. Without hesitation, he packed his bag with a notebook, a pen, water, and a lantern. Standing at the gates of Lingua, he whispered to himself that every word he found on this journey would bring him closer to mastering English. The road ahead was not easy. His first challenge came in the form of a forest. Tall trees blocked the sunlight, and the path seemed endless. But in the middle of the forest, he met a traveler named Clara. Clara was from a faraway land and spoke only in English. At first, Ethan hesitated. His English was broken, and he was afraid of making mistakes. But then he remembered the first rule of adventure: do not let fear stop you. So he tried. He greeted her, slowly, with the words he knew. Clara smiled, understood, and taught him how she said simple words like hello, thank you, and friend. For Ethan, these words were not just vocabulary. They were gems he collected along the way. He wrote them in his notebook, pronouncing them again and again until they became part of him. Clara, seeing his effort, decided to join him on the journey. Two travelers now walked together toward the mysterious cave, bound by friendship and the excitement of discovery. The next challenge was a wide river that cut across their path. There was no bridge, only a small boat. A fisherman stood nearby, guarding it. He spoke in English, asking them a simple question: what do you want? Clara understood, but Ethan needed to respond. He closed his eyes, thought carefully, and spoke slowly. We want to cross the river. The fisherman smiled, recognizing the effort, and let them board the boat. That small moment taught Ethan a big lesson. Learning English was like solving puzzles. Each real-life situation gave him the chance to use words, to connect, to practice. It was not about being perfect. It was about being brave enough to try. As they continued, Ethan and Clara passed through villages where children taught them playful songs in English. They met travelers from different lands who shared simple stories. Each encounter added new words, new expressions, and new confidence. With every step, Ethan's notebook grew heavier with words, and his heart lighter with joy. Finally, after days of walking, they reached the Cave of Lost Words. Its entrance was guarded by silence, broken only by the sound of the wind. Inside, the walls glowed with light. Floating in the air were shining words, each one glowing like a star. Some words were simple: hope, dream, learn. Others were longer, like confidence, adventure, and possibility. Ethan stretched out his hand and spoke each word aloud, carefully writing them in his notebook. As he did, something magical happened. His voice grew stronger, clearer, and filled with courage. But at the very heart of the cave, they found a giant stone tablet. On it was written a message: the secret of English is not learning words, but living them. Ethan and Clara stood silently, letting the meaning sink in. He realized that English was not about memorizing endless lists. It was about using words daily, in conversations, in listening, in stories. Living the language was the true treasure. They walked out of the cave not just with words, but with confidence. Ethan now spoke more freely, making mistakes but learning with every sentence. Clara too felt that her language had grown stronger because she shared her knowledge in real conversations. Together, they returned to Lingua, carrying not just treasures of words, but treasures of courage, friendship, and experience. Back in the city, Ethan began to share his story with others. He told them that learning English was not about fear, not about perfection, but about adventure. Every mistake was part of the journey. Every conversation was a step forward. He encouraged people to listen to stories, talk to travelers, and use words in daily life. The city of Lingua was never the same again. People began to see English not as a difficult subject, but as an exciting adventure waiting for them. Ethan's story spread beyond Lingua, inspiring people in faraway lands. Travelers carried his message, telling others that every word learned was a treasure, every conversation a step on the path. Slowly, English became a bridge that connected people, cultures, and dreams. And that, dear listeners, was the story of Ethan and the adventure of the lost words. From this story, we learn an important truth. English is not a subject to fear. It is an adventure to live. Every word you learn is a jewel, every mistake is a step forward, and every story you hear is a treasure that makes you stronger. So, as you continue your own English journey, remember Ethan's adventure. Be curious, be brave, and never stop collecting the treasures of words. Because the secret of learning English is not memorizing, but living the language. Thank you for joining me today on Global English Tales. If you enjoyed this story, stay tuned for more adventures where language and imagination meet. Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep believing in the magic of words.